In the last 30 days, the average American retirement account lost over $14,000 in value. Most people have no idea why. They didn't sell anything. They didn't make a single bad decision. They just woke up one morning, and the world had changed. Something shifted on February 28th. And it's been quietly draining retirement savings ever since. Not through fraud. Not through a market crash you saw coming. Through four invisible channels that nobody in the mainstream financial media is connecting clearly enough. Today I'm going to show you all four. And exactly what to do about each one. Imagine this situation. You've done everything right. You have a 401k. Maybe an IRA. You've been contributing for years. You haven't panicked. You haven't made emotional decisions. You open your account statement this month, and the number staring back at you is $23,000 less than it was 30 days ago. Not because of anything you did. Not because of any decision you made. Because of a waterway 7,000 miles away that most Americans have never heard of. You did everything right. And still lost money. That's what they're not explaining to you. And that's exactly what we're going to fix today. I'm Maya. And this channel exists because someone needs to explain to you what they're not telling you. Today we're going to follow the money. From the Strait of Hormuz to your 401k. From the gas pump to your grocery bill. From the Federal Reserve's decision today to the rate on your mortgage. And most importantly, I'm going to give you the exact moves to protect your retirement savings in this environment. Stay until the end. Because the last thing I'm going to show you is the most important. And if you haven't subscribed to Money with Maya yet, do it right now. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. Because this channel exists for one reason, to tell you the things the system hopes you never figure out. Let's follow the money. Amid escalating military tensions in the Middle East beginning in late February, reports emerged of significant disruptions to shipping through the Strait of Hormuz. That strait is 21 miles wide at its narrowest point. And through it flows 1 out of every 5 barrels of oil produced on this planet. Every single day. When shipping through the strait was disrupted, the global oil supply took an immediate hit. Brent crude, the global benchmark for oil, surged from around $70 a barrel to over $100 a barrel within weeks. A 40% increase. The national average price of gasoline went from $3 a gallon to $3.79 a gallon. In California, gas hit $6.50 a gallon. Diesel crossed $5 a gallon for the first time since 2022. Most people saw those numbers and thought, this hurts at the pump. What they didn't see is what's happening 3 layers deeper. Where their retirement savings live. Now before I show you the 4 channels, I want to tell you about someone. His name is Robert. He's 57 years old. He started contributing to his 401k at 35. Every single month for 22 years, he never missed a contribution. When markets dropped in 2020, he didn't panic. When rates rose in 2022, he stayed the course. He did everything the financial advisors tell you to do. Last week, Robert opened his retirement account statement. He was down $23,000 from the previous month. He hadn't sold a single share. He hadn't made a single change. He just went to sleep one night in February. And woke up in a world where a waterway on the other side of the planet had disrupted everything. Robert is not alone. Millions of Americans in their 50s and 60s are looking at statements right now and feeling exactly what Robert felt. Not panic. Something quieter than panic. A slow, unsettling feeling that the rules changed. And nobody told them. That feeling is correct. The rules did change. And here's what changed. Channel 1. Market volatility. Since the disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz began, markets have been swinging wildly. The Dow Jones dropped over 400 points in a single day at the start of the conflict. Since then, it has swung nearly 900 points up and down, multiple times, sometimes within the same trading session. Davide Accomazzo, a finance professor at Pepperdine's Graziadio Business School, told Yahoo Finance last week that a severe and prolonged disruption could lead to what economists call a double whammy, underwhelming returns for both stocks and bonds for as long as 18 to 24 months. 18 to 24 months. Think about what that means if you're 55. If you're 58. If retirement is 7 years away and your entire 401k is still allocated the way it was when you were 42. A 30% drop at 35 is painful but recoverable. You have decades of contributions ahead. A 30% drop at 58, 3 years before retirement, is a completely different situation. The math changes. The stakes change. And the strategy needs to change too. Channel 2. Inflation and why the Fed can't save you. This is the invisible one. The one that doesn't show up on your statement. But it might be the most damaging. Higher oil prices don't just make your gas more expensive. They make everything more expensive. Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's Analytics, told CNBC this week. Consumers threaten to be hammered by the surge in oil prices. If oil stays near $100 a barrel, inflation will quickly accelerate, cutting into consumers' purchasing power. Here's what that means for your retirement account specifically. Every dollar you have saved today has a certain amount of purchasing power. If inflation runs at 2%, the Fed's target, $1 today, becomes roughly 82 cents in 10 years. If inflation runs at 5% or 6% because of a sustained energy shock, that same dollar becomes 61 cents. You haven't lost money on paper. Your statement still shows the same number. But you've lost 39% of what that money can actually buy you in retirement. Silently. Without a single market drop. Now here's the part that makes it worse. The Federal Reserve met today. They held interest rates steady at 3.5% to 3.75%. No cuts. Not in March. Not likely in June. Most analysts now say October at the earliest. As one analyst put it directly to CNBC this week, don't expect the Fed to ride in and save the day. The Fed is in a no-win situation. If they cut rates to stimulate the economy, inflation accelerates. If they keep rates high, growth slows and markets suffer. Either way, your retirement savings are caught in the middle. And that's exactly what they're not telling you clearly enough. I want you to subscribe to Money with Maya right now. Not after the video. Now. Because the next video I'm releasing goes deep on the exact 401k reallocation strategy that financial advisors are recommending specifically for oil shock environments, what to move, how much, and when. That video goes live this week. And you don't want to miss it. Subscribe now and turn on the bell so you don't. Channel 3. The budget squeeze. This one hits closest to home. Because it doesn't just affect what you have saved. It affects how much you can save going forward. When oil prices spike, every product that gets transported, manufactured, or grown becomes more expensive. Wayne Weingarten, an economist at the Pacific Research Institute, said it clearly. The conflict is putting upward pressure on prices for gasoline, electricity, and groceries through higher transportation, packaging, and fertilizer costs. This will worsen affordability for families already struggling with the high cost of living. Think about what Robert is facing right now. His grocery bill is up. His gas bill is up. His electricity bill is up. That's an extra $400 to $500 a month disappearing from his budget. $400 a month that's no longer available for retirement contributions. Less compounding. Less growth. Less security. The cruelest part? This is happening at exactly the moment when Robert needs to be contributing more, not less. Because volatile markets mean lower share prices. And lower share prices mean every dollar he contributes right now buys more. The budget squeeze is pulling him in the opposite direction of where he should be going. That's the trap. And most people don't see it until it's too late. Channel 4. Mortgage rates. This one affects the 50 and 60-year-olds who are planning to downsize, refinance, or carry any variable rate debt into retirement. The disruptions in energy markets pushed up the 10-year Treasury yield, the benchmark that mortgage rates follow. According to Zillow, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate is now 6.08%. As one economist told CNBC this week, high oil prices are not good for mortgage rates. If you were waiting for rates to come down before refinancing, or before making a housing decision, that wait just got longer. And every month of higher mortgage payments is a month of less money going toward retirement. 4 channels. All running simultaneously. All pointing in the same direction. All draining your retirement savings right now. And now, the 4 moves. Concrete. Specific. Actionable today. Move 1. Review your asset allocation this week, not at your next annual review. If you're between 50 and 65 and your 401k is still allocated the same way it was 5 years ago, this environment demands a fresh look. This doesn't mean selling everything. The data is clear that investors who move entirely out of stocks during volatility often miss the recovery. The S&P 500 has recovered from every single drop in its history. Including oil shocks. Including wars. Including financial crises. What it does mean is making sure your allocation reflects your actual retirement timeline. At 35, a 90% stock allocation makes sense. At 58, with retirement 7 years away, you likely need more stability. More bonds. More dividend-paying stocks. More assets that hold value when markets are volatile. One conversation with your plan administrator this week could be worth tens of thousands of dollars to your retirement. Move 2. Inflation-proof a portion of your savings. Most people watch the stock market. Very few are thinking about what a sustained oil shock does to purchasing power over 10 years. 2 tools specifically designed for this moment. Tips: Treasury inflation-protected securities. Government bonds that grow with inflation. When inflation goes up, tips go up. Most 401k plans have a tips fund option that most people have never touched. I-bonds, Series I savings bonds from the U.S. Treasury. They pay an interest rate tied directly to the inflation rate. When inflation is high, they pay more. Both are boring. Both are reliable. And right now, Both may be the most underrated tools in your retirement arsenal. Move 3. Protect your monthly budget before the next wave of price increases arrives. Diesel is above $5 a gallon. Fertilizer prices are up 35% since the disruptions began. Food prices will rise. Electricity prices will rise. The time to prepare your household budget is before those increases fully hit, not after. Look at your monthly expenses right now. Identify what's going to cost more in the next 60 to 90 days. Then make the deliberate decision to redirect whatever gets squeezed in variable spending back into your retirement contributions. Not less. More. Because lower share prices mean more shares per dollar. And more shares now means more growth when markets recover. Move 4. Be selective about what you read. The financial media right now is optimized for clicks and anxiety. Oil hits $120. Dow drops 1,000. Stagflation is coming. Some of that is real. Some of it is designed to make you feel like you should do something dramatic. The most dangerous financial decisions are made during periods of maximum fear. Stay informed. Use sources that give you context, not just headlines. Review your allocation. Make targeted adjustments. Keep contributing. That is what the people who come out of volatile periods financially stronger always do. That is the difference between Robert in 3 years. Looking back on this moment as the one where he panicked and locked in his losses. And Robert looking back on this as the moment he understood what was happening. Made the right adjustments. And came out on the other side with his retirement intact. The Strait of Hormuz is still there. Reports of disruptions are ongoing. Energy prices remain elevated. And every day those conditions persist. The 4 channels we talked about today keep running. Market volatility. Inflation. Budget pressure. Mortgage rates. All 4. Simultaneously. Draining the retirement savings of people who did everything right. People like Robert. People like you. The only question is whether you're going to let that continue without understanding it. Or whether today is the day you decide to understand exactly what's happening to your money. And take the 4 steps to protect it. That choice is yours. But you needed the information first. Now you have it. Now I need 3 things from you. First, subscribe to Money with Maya right now if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell. Because the next video goes deep on exactly which 401k funds to move, how much, and when, specifically for this oil shock environment. That video is coming this week. Do not miss it. Second, drop a comment below right now. Tell me this, when you opened your retirement account statement this month, were you surprised by what you saw? Yes or no? I genuinely want to know. Because your answer tells me something important about how clearly the financial system is explaining itself to the people who need it most. Third, share this video with someone who needs it. A friend in their 50s who hasn't looked at their 401k lately. A spouse who felt that quiet, unsettling feeling last week but didn't know why. Someone who did everything right and still lost money and deserves to understand why. This knowledge doesn't cost anything. But not having it can cost you your retirement. Subscribe to Money with Maya. Because someone needs to tell you what they won't. And I'm just getting started.